All right. Then to start and kickstart the day, again, another question for you. And it's about data. Data is everywhere, but does everyone really know how to use it? How can we bridge the gap? Our first speaker, Ioan Enache from Romania, a data specialist at Data Revolt Agency, is here to answer this question. He will share how his team is making data analysis accessible to non-technical users, because data shouldn't just be for data scientists. So with maximum enthusiasm, I would like you to welcome Ioan to the stage.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. Hope you had a great day yesterday. I'm Ioan, and I don't know why I'm here. Yesterday, I've listened to great solutions, data science solutions. I've seen some very nice professionals able to deliver great presentations, leaders that have a lot of data scientists, data engineers in their teams, building great products, I would say. But I'm Ioan. I have a PhD in marketing. My thesis was about customer behavior. I used the fuzzy logic model to describe that. I did some research for some years, then switched to education. In partnership with Manchester Metropolitan University, I built one of the few bachelor degrees in digital marketing, because in Europe, by the way, we have a lot of master degrees in digital marketing, but not so many bachelor degrees in digital marketing. I'm still teaching. I'm teaching classes like value proposition design and business development, but I'm switching step by step to something that I feel like it's a bit more hands-on. This data world that I really enjoy being in, and I'm here together with Marian. Some of the ideas that I'm going to present are his, so it's only fair to recognize his inputs as well. We are a data marketing agency. So our aim is to help the customers, our clients, to build marketing strategies and marketing channels and marketing ads or wherever related to marketing so that they reach their business goals. Our headquarters is in Bucharest. We have some offices in Saint-Maurice in Switzerland, in Brașov, from where I'm coming from, and in Chișinău. And at this point, I would like to emphasize a bit what I'm aiming with this presentation. Because I would say, hopefully, by now it's obvious I'm not an expert in the data science field. What I really hope you will end up with at the end of this presentation is to have more questions than answers. Because I'm coming from a very different field. We have big players in the marketing field. We have important companies that are trying to reach our customers. But at the end of the day, what I really hope I can come with, it's a different perspective, something that might challenge your current ways of doing things. So, our customers are businesses who have a very important digital presence. Usually we're talking about e-commerce businesses having online stores, but we could talk about B2B companies that are using the internet, the online mediums, to find leads. Okay, so a lot of them are already successful, big businesses making a lot of money, and they are trying to make sense of what's going on with their business. Being already successful, sometimes it's a great thing because you know what drives you there, but on the other hand, you don't have the data behind. It's just a feeling. You maybe had a very good market opportunity and you took it. And nowadays, with all this hype around the data, they try to make sense of the data because they are digital businesses. They have those websites with a lot of information over there. So what they are trying to do is to use some tools that are already available, and they start seeing things. Transactions with a negative value. So yeah, it's a good purchase revenue, but at the end of the day, we have negative values. They see that their customers are buying products when they are okay, when they are out of stock, but they are not buying when they are in stock. Something that we are having huge problems right now, they see drops in their user base. And especially in Europe, where we have GDPR, and all around the world, because we have third-party cookie deprecation, this is something that it's making our lives very, very hard. And I would say this is also a great business opportunity to consider, because the big companies, when GDPR was implemented in Europe, came and said, okay, there will be some drops, but we have some models, and based on the data that you already have there, we will be able to reduce such a situation. Or at least we will be able to tell you from where are these sessions coming from. But this is not happening. Sometimes we even see really useless information, and our customers actually end up something like this. The buzzword nowadays is AI, so they turn to AI. They turn to large language models, they try to ask questions there, they try to rely on the tools that have integrated AI in their apps, but they still face the same problems. And actually, if we go a bit in depth with such a situation, I found some articles. This is, I would say, a very good one from some Apple researchers who are trying to check, who did try to check what is the impact of the numbers against the proper names and how complexity is reducing, deteriorating the results large language models are providing. I also found something that for me it's very strange. Important magazines, scientific magazines, publishing such papers that are trying to combine two very different fields. And we see this happening also with AI experts. We see here, and I think this is a great code, that we need to have models that are not hallucinating. Because for such business owners who have no clue about how data is working, how data science is working, this is a very real fear. Here I would like to stop for a second. If there is no trust in such tools, they will not use them, even if we build very good reports, very good pipelines, you name it. And at the end of the day, I would say this is the big question. We can ask it generally, do we see an increase in GDP, in gross domestic product, for the countries that are actually using AI? And we can ask it for businesses. When we are building a pipeline, a solution, do we actually see an increase in revenue? What is the return of investment in data science for a business? Do we see any reduction in costs? I think I have a very interesting example here. Yesterday there was a presentation about how using some data you are able to increase the conversion rate for any kind of store. If you're sending an email at the right moment when the customer is willing to buy an appliance, and the customer is buying that appliance, of course, there is a conversion rate. But if the customer will buy the appliance no matter what, because he really needs that, we'll see no increase in the revenue. And it's a bit, I would say, unfortunate that I've seen so many examples of tools and metrics that help us assess how good a model is in relation with data science, but I didn't saw so many examples of metrics that are trying to check how good a model is in relation with the business. How much money are we actually making because we are using AI or data science or whatever? How much money are we actually being able to, how are we able to reduce the costs if we are using AI? Do we see a change in the profit of the companies? So having all this in their mind, our customers turn to us and we try to provide a certain framework so that we can take them step by step and explain them how we can tackle their problems. So it's a simple one because, again, we're talking about business owners who don't have a data background. So it starts with data, we talk a bit with them and we try to help them with data democratization. We reach analysis, and then we finally reach analysis democratization. So, of course, data is everywhere. And they know that. They know they have information about their transactions, but they don't know they also have information about their scrolls, for example, how the user is behaving on the website, what is he actually seeing. So they find out about the data, they find out about how hard it is to collect. So our first step when it comes to this stage, the data stage, let's say, is to show them what data is available. For example, here, we can see that pay-per-click, which is a performance marketing section of a website, has a lot more views, and users compared to analytics. But on the other hand, on the same time, we see that analytics, even if they have less views, they have a higher engagement rate when it comes to the users. So these are basic information that if we are able to deliver to the customer, they have a meaningful impact for their business. The second thing we are trying and we are able to do, we are partners with different other companies that if we are in a situation where we cannot find data, they are helping us with different tools that help us extract data. We have, for example, a Spotify integration, or we also build in-house a tool that's helping us with the transactions. And the last one, I would say this is the most important one. At this stage, we are trying to build trust. Because no matter what data we are showing to them, they know their business, and sometimes it will be that we show something that is not correlated with their beliefs, so we try to build trust. How? This is an example. We try to provide information from two different perspectives, showing them that we reach the same result. So we start with item views, so these are the events that are happening on the website. These are the items that are being purchased on the website. So even if they start from the same point, okay, over here, we reach the same result, revenue, we have different steps over here. So this is something that a lot of business owners think it's relevant because they can see from two different perspectives. They see how many things, let's say, are happening on the website, but they also see what's happening with the items there. Then, we have data democratization. And I think here we have a very good question, which is actually becoming two questions. What do we actually mean with democratization? What is a democracy? I would say you need at least two things when it comes to a democracy. You need the ability to vote, so you should have a chance to decide what's best for you as a business, in our case. And second, you should have the ability to build wherever you want in order to achieve that. So, to vote and to get elected. To vote in business, as I said, you should decide what data is important. And maybe you remember this figure here. It's strange because we have 4.3 thousand items being viewed, but checked out, we have so many more. So this is not something that's highly relevant, the numbers of items viewed. Why? Because on such a website, the user is not checking the item page. He's seeing a list with the products. The products are more or less standardized, and they don't need to get inside the product page. So they add to cart and buy based on that list. So here, it's so much more important to have these metrics. Secondly, as I said, we should be able to build something that is specific for that particular customer. And here we have a funnel integration with an engagement score. So what we are trying to do, this is a B2B business. This B2B business is trying to attract leads to their website in order to sell real estate properties, huge ones. So the business owner understands that it's not like everyone on the website that should be tracked. The ones that are more important are doing some specific actions. So that's why we look for the middle of the funnel, so the ones who are doing something extra in order to understand that real estate property, and also the bottom of the funnel, the most important ones who are actually reaching a point when they are willing to buy something. So this way we can build better audiences for the future email or wherever Google Ads campaign. Analysis. We finally reached this point, but we don't want to lose the trust. And at this point, a great way in which we can build the trust and maintain the trust is data cleaning. We've seen several nice examples of situations when you start the analysis. Of course, you start with data cleaning, and you are able to communicate to the business owner that, look, there are some data missing here. You have some outliers there. What happened? Of course, for us, it's obvious. We know how to handle that. That's okay from us. But from their side, it's like, really, I have an outlier on, I don't know, 13th of March. Why? Did I have a campaign? What happened there? I don't have data for a particular date. What happened back then? And this way, they continue to trust us because the next two steps we are actually handling one by one. We start with something simple, and we move on to build on that. So, for example, a good business question is, how would you establish the threshold for free delivery? Is it at 10 euros, at 50 euros, at 100 euros? And the simple answer for such a question would be, okay, let's find out the average purchase revenue. And we'll have the threshold above the average purchase revenue so that the users of the website will aim to buy a bit more to reach the threshold and not pay for their transport. That's the easy solution, first step. Or we can use a simple k-means to split the transactions into buckets and discuss with the business owner that maybe it's not about the average, who might be somewhere around here. Maybe you want to incentivize this segment and move the threshold a bit higher so that you will increase your revenue. Or another example here, we start again with something simple. We have out-of-stock products. We know what's the conversion rate when these products are not out of stock. So we know that if users are checking a product and it's out of stock, this is lost sales. We are losing because we have that conversion rate. So we can calculate how much money we are actually losing. Again, business owners are very careful when it comes to money. So we calculate how much money they are losing because they have products that are being out of stock, and then we can move on. We can decide about the service level, we can decide about the distribution of their sales, I don't know, it's Norm or Bernoulli or wherever, Poisson, and then we can come up with some specific numbers that should help them, in this stage, improve their inventory. Of course, this could get so much more complicated, but you need to help them achieve that buy-in in order to move along with such analysis. And finally, we reach analysis democratization. And this is empty for a reason. Because as I said, if we're talking about a democracy, you need to be able to vote and you need to be able to get elected. Do we have something like this when it comes to analysis? Are we able to vote what's the best tool to analyze some data? And I would say the answer is no. The data is given, the structure of the data is given, the nature of the problem is given, so we can't say, no, I will use this, I will use the other one. No, there is a good tool, or maybe several good tools for that particular problem. Second of all, it's not like a business owner is going to build his own statistical method in which he can, I don't know, better understand his customers. So in such a situation, because it doesn't look like a democracy, we are focusing on something else. First of all, we are trying to automate the process so that the data will reach the customer as soon as possible. Second of all, we are trying to upskill the user so that he understands what's happening. What's the reason why we are using such a tool? Why is the reason we are receiving such results? And hopefully he will get involved. And finally, and this is something that I'm thinking about for a while now, and we are not doing it yet. But in the health industry, there is an interesting concept of knowledge broker. Someone who is connecting the scientific world with the business world. Someone who is able to take some scientific findings and move them to the business to provide business opportunities or business solutions. And the other way around, to take some business needs and provide this kind of information to the scientists. As far as I know, there is nothing like this at this point in the data science world. And the struggles we are facing right now are connected with such a situation. So briefly, we start collecting, we enhance the data, we build a step-by-step process that helps us analyzing the data that we have, and then we focus a lot on support. If you have any questions, of course, there will be a Q&A. You can reach us, the email is over there, and thank you so much.
We have perhaps a space for one question. Does anyone have a question that you would like to ask right now? All right, then you can always approach Ioan. Thank you very much, Ioan. And 1 second. This is a token of appreciation.
Thank you so much.
From the team. Thank you very much, Ioan.